What totally normal names would be cruel to name your child in 2020, and why? I had a friend named Carrie who visited Albania with an NGO in the late 90s, only to discover that everyone giggled when she introduced herself. Finally, someone told her name meant in Albanian. She felt bad until later on that trip when she met an 8-year-old boy named Clarim, whose non-English speaking parents had nicknamed him Cl. I once made a character on WoW called Zizzy. She didn't last long, on account of all the French people deeming me, snickering at my choice. It's a childish work for penis in French. We lived in Japan when I was a kid, and my mom's name translated to Diarrhea virus. My dad loved introducing her Isis, after the Egyptian goddess. There was a case where a woman got into trouble because she wanted her daughter's name on a Nutella jar and they refused because her daughter's name was Isis. I legit saw a real estate ad for a guy named Chad Chiddington the other day. I think his parents hated him. My wife went to school with a Richard Dickmeyer. They called him Dick Dickmeyer. What made it more interesting was he's Richard Dickmeyer 3. As you finish typing you hear a bang and your door swings open. An 8-foot monster with 30-inch biceps and swelling muscles enters the room. Slow heavy breathing. I heard you typing shit about me, bitch. Any Disney princess name because their probs will be a live action reboot of it in the near future. Naming a kid Rapunzel is gonna get them picked on either way. When it comes to Finnish names the worst ones probably are Fanny and Rap. My grandpa has a good friend is Rap, and that name was totally okay in mid-50s before the English language spread all over. I worked with a woman named Gay. Hello, I'm Gay communicated something different today than when she was born. She was an older lady. I had a counselor at school named Gay Bath. Chastity, last name, Cage. New twins named Charity and Chastity. Don't know what the f their parents were thinking. I went to high school with a girl named Chastity. She had a kid pretty soon after high school. Well, Alexa, Karen, Kyle and Siri. My name is Alexa. It low-key sucks, but I always tell people it was my name first. Thumbs up. Wait, I miss Kyle. What's the deal with Kyle now? Siri isn't too bad, but anyone calling out to her or Alexa risk triggering a bunch of watches, phones, and other devices. Worse would be Isis. Beautiful name, but it just doesn't have a good connotation these days. Chad. BJ. Yo went to middle and high school with a kid named BJ Gooch. My initials are BJM. I have to use all 3 letters, otherwise I'm either job or a bowel movement. Don't know if this counts. My daughter was born 8 months ago and we didn't have a name. The nurse thought it was funny and said don't worry lady week. I had a couple legally name their kid Superfly. The other nurses in the room confirmed it. I am a pharmacy tech and we see some weird names. There was a grown-ass man with the first name of C, the letter C. I know he got a bunch of shit for it, and I feel so bad for him. I am sure he'd had to say a million times like the letter C until he's sick of it. We used to joke at the pharmacy if he had siblings A and B, but we mostly just felt bad because honestly, it's a messed up thing to do to a kid. And don't name your kid William Williamson or John Johnson. It's not cute. Elsa. Dude, just let it go. Girl boy. Still looking at you, Bird Box. We're expecting twins but aren't sharing their names publicly yet, so we like to joke that they're called girl and boy after Bird Box. Jesus. Everyone calls me Jesus instead of Jesus because of the way it's spelt. Hey Zeus. I know a guy named Jesus but he likes to be called Gabriel. Says Jesus is for special events only. Wait, is it pronounced Jesus or Jesus? Clarence Eustace Scrub. And he almost deserved it. Bold words coming from a man whose middle name was Staples. My grandma's name is Zelda, which I think is such a sick name. But my husband refused to name a child Zelda and it's so sad. It's also the name of F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife, who was the namesake for Zelda from Loz. And then Robin Williams named his daughter Zelda after Zelda from Loz. My mum's name is Ivanka and people always bring up Ivanka Trump, which is extremely annoying to her. LMAO, my mother is named Katrina. She gets more than annoyed about hurricane jokes. Well, I mean, if you're a junior, that means your mom has moaned your name. Man, why you gotta do me like that? That's what your mom said too. Lots of old people named Dick. But nowadays, I have never met anyone actually named Dick. It's short for Richard, but there's other nicknames for Richard. Rick, Rich, Ricky, etc. that will work fine. The only guy I've ever known to go by was this old farmer named Short. I never talked to him much, I just imagined he had a really good sense of humor. My name is Richard Edward, they call me Dickhead for some reason. Imagine being able to have a nickname Rich but you choose Dick. Edit, just realized I have the name Dick. Lots of people choose Dick over alternatives, like my ex. How do you get Dick from Richard? Ask him nicely, smiley face. Adolf. I come from a long line of German Adolfs that mysteriously switched to Alfred somewhere in the mid-20th century. A real mystery, that one is r/unsolved mysteries. Back in middle school I knew a girl named Wisdom. At the time I actually thought her name was pretty cool. I have a pretty plain name, but she always said that she hated it and her parents. Later I found out that her last name was Vision. Her full name was Wisdom Vision. My little brother was friends with her brother, Messiah, Wisdom and Messiah Vision. I don't blame her for hating her parents. Hillary, Donald, Richard. Is there a Richard I don't know about? Boris. Scooter. Leslie used to be a pretty common man's name. It's so overwhelmingly used as a girl's name now that you might as well name the boy Susan. Felicia. Dana Reese. Sorry for the people who did it before the finale. Hoopsies poopsies. The super duper popular name was Khaleesi, which to me is even worse. What could be a nickname to that? Hey, sup easy. Sherry and Brandy if the parents are alcoholics. The same first name as the baby's last name. Parents giving the kid the same name they gave their pet. Chuck if the kid pukes a lot. One of the gym teachers at my junior high was named Pete Peters. I knew a kid in grade school, Elliot. Tell me his parents were smoking some tight back in the 60s. Gilbert. It will always be cruel to call a child Gilbert. I knew a girl named Anita Duke. Pronounced Dick. German Mennonite enunciation. Last name should be considered when choosing a first name. Letterkenny has a good skit on Mennonites, with the Duke family being named Noah, Anita, Charity and Chastity. Everything they say is an innuendo. You almost have to commit if you're named like that. Jared, as long as they can read at 19. Kevin, because you're damning them to a life of perceived stupidity. Or Bor Ragnarok jokes if you are Irish. Ah, I see you're a man of culture as well. In this exact order AJ BJ CJ all brothers. Felt bad for the middle brother cause I mean the other two names are fine but poor BJ also knew a lord and lady. Filipinos will give their kids weird names. Source, am Filipino. Albert, but spelt with a K what? Kilbert. I wish I fucking knew. Everybody says I'm the guy to ask, but I've got no clue. My kids Adolf, Joseph, Tito and Mao are clueless too. Why you gotta do Tito dirty like that? Lots of worse people out there. Leopold, Hirohito, Pinochet, Deng. Reading these comments make me realize I got quite lucky that my parents decided to name me a really old classic, Noah. No matter what product gets released or trend happens, it'll always have its origins in an old story. Wait till that baby Yoda thing gets a name. In Norway the name Odd is quite normal. Came across a guy called Odd Johnny once. Normally he called himself OJ, not that it was much better. Kevin Spacey. So many people are naming their kids that nowadays. Bill Cosby too. We named ours Kevin Cosby. William Epstein Weinstein Spacey. I had a classmate named Zipper in 4th grade. So yeah, Zipper. Cersei or Jaime Lannister. I remember there being a post on some subreddit about someone arguing with their spouse or sibling or something over wanting to name twins that. WTF. They wanted their twins to bone each other? This name isn't totally cruel but my name is Bandar. My friends decided to search up Bandar on Google and all they got were pictures of monkeys. Needless to say I got hella roasted. Shrek. They'd be instantly killed for attempting to impersonate a god. A lad in my school is called that, not a nickname. Actual birth name. The Second Coming. The Shrek owning. The Ogre Lord has finally returned after all these years. False idols must get Shreked. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe for more r/AskReddit content you epic beast.